But one of the things that happen is that when you are given a position or you are given a seat or you are given a title, it's a revealer.
Oh.
See, once you get anywhere and you start misbehaving, it's not the seat that is the problem. It's already in you before the seat. The leadership does not start with a position. It starts with the person.
Okay. But when it comes to this country, in terms of leadership and social impact, is prayer enough?
Well, prayer is not enough. Even in the Christian circle, we celebrate prayer more because of our understanding of what prayer is.
Okay.
When you hear prayer, people are talking of let's begin to ask God for something. But prayer is a communication. It's not about just talking. It's walking the talk. So if you're a church, you're in a community, and people are crying, dying, and people lack so many things, and you're not making impact on that area, then there's no use. You are just occupying space. You are not making a difference. So when Regalo came...
Hello, and welcome to Voices of Regalo, where your voice matters. My name is Nkechi Jane Obodoke, Jane for short. Voices of Regalo is powered by Regalo Foundation. Today we have a legendary personality, and I'll just go through his profile. He's popularly called the Leadership Doctor. Dr. Ayo Fadumiye is a renowned leadership expert, coach, trainer, and a certified NLP practitioner. He recently received the Kwame Nkrumah Medal of Honor for Transformational Leadership for Africa. A fellow member of African Institute of Public Administration, Ghana. He was awarded Doctor of Public Administration (DPA) from the London Bridge Business School (LBBS) UK and a postgraduate certificate in management from London Bridge Business School (LBBS) UK. He is the managing and leading partner of Leadership Edge Consult. He authored several life-transforming books and resources, including So You Call Yourself a Leader and Another, Take the Lead, a practical guide to help beginners discover, develop, and deploy their leadership potentials. He is married to Esther Fadumiye, a US certified marriage, mentor, and relationship coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Regalo stars, join me to welcome our leadership doctor, Dr. Ayo Fadumiye. You are a pastor, so you're choir. Do you have a nice voice?
Very nice. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for coming.
So honored.
Yeah. So, what should I call you? Daddy, pastor, leadership doctor, sir? Because your profile is just saying everything.
You can call me Ayo Fadumiye or
doctor,
or Dr.
okay,
anyone.
Pastor.
Okay, pastor, anyone is okay.
Okay, who is Dr. Ayo Fadumiye?
Okay, so like she rightly said, my name is Ayo Fadumiye. I'm leadership doctor, and I'm very big on leadership development and self-development, and also I'm a pastor of Citadel of Light Church.
Yeah.
We believe so much in raising significant leaders who will be relevant in their marketplaces. And then I'm also into trainings, corporate trainings.
Okay.
I do majorly leadership development for managers and also superior customer delight as well.
Okay.
Basically I'm married with 4 children.
Wow. So the name Leadership Doctor. Some people have guy name.
Okay.
So what ignites that name?
So several years ago I was reading a book. That book was titled then Sales Doctor. The person that wrote the book calls himself Sales Doctor. And I remember that time I had an encounter with my mentor, Reverend Sam Adeyemi.
Okay.
We had a conversation, and then I was telling him about my passion for leadership. And so he encouraged me, said, go ahead, just go. I know that time, leadership was not really a major... People were just saying that the problem with Nigeria is leadership. But we were not really hearing much about that. So I told him, I said, I have a passion for that. That's my area. That's what I'm caught up for. So whilst I was studying and doing some researches and all of that, I just had, I don't know, that thing just came to my mind, that sales doctor. Leadership
Leadership
doctor. So
doctor.
it was not really like something. I said, okay, let me just bear that name. And interestingly, a lot of people started calling me that. And
the name is unique.
some of my posts, I put it there. My name is Fadumiye. I'm your leadership doctor. My name is Fadumiye. I'm your leadership doctor. And then it spreads. Okay. And so people know me. It's not like you have a doctorate.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? But it's part of branding.
Yes.
Just wanting people to know that when it comes to Fadumiye, think leadership.
Think leadership.
So that's it.
How were you able to blend being a pastor and getting involved in leadership development and community development?
Okay,
stuff?
so my understanding of life is a product of impact. Okay. I believe that as a pastor or even as a Christian, wherever you are to make impact. Because your Christian adventure is useless without social relevance. So I believe that as believers or as Christian, if you are not making social impact, then your faith is empty. So I have that passion, I have that inspiration, that motivation to go all out for leadership, because I know that leadership is not necessarily a Christian language. It cut across every department of life. So that's the reason why I pursue after the leadership development. And then today we thank God for what is happening.
So why is it that some pastors are not involved? They just face their calling. Like, I'm being called, I should just face anything as regards, there have been some talks on social media and all that, even naturally, except for some few pastors quoted, like you could hear their voice. Other pastors don't talk. And sometimes you just wonder, such things are happening in the country, the country is in chaos and all that, and pastors are silent.
Okay.
Why is it so?
All right. So, I think that the fact is, like you just said, there is what they call the calling.
Okay.
And there's also the gifting. Okay, so the calling is when you are called as a pastor.
Okay.
God called you to pastor a church. And then the giftings are the skills that God has planted within you to help you with the calling.
Oh.
Right? So I believe that the reason why some people might not speak up is because maybe they have a direction from God not to say anything.
Okay.
While some of us that have gifts and we have the skill and we also have the utterance.
Oh,
you understand? So then we can address issues. We may not speak out in the open, but we can come from the grassroots and start raising leaders among young people, like what I do, or sending messages on Instagram, on WhatsApp, and all of that, just to shift people's mind in the area of leadership. That is not a position, it's who you are. So it starts from us. So that's how we speak. So it depends on what individual has. Maybe God is telling them not to say anything, or maybe they don't have the relevant information. Because if you don't have the information about anything and you speak, you become a noise maker. You are not really making impact. So that's basically what.
So what do you know about Regalo Foundation? Sometimes ago, Regalo Foundation came to your community and they did a community outreach.
Right.
How were you receptive of the initiative?
Okay, so when Regalo came through one of us,
man like Winnie.
Man like Winnie, and he's been with us for years.
Yeah.
I was close to about 10 years ago.
Wow.
He's been with us and he's been very, 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 and also my personal protocol. So, So when he told me about Regalo, and then I asked him, what did they do? And he said, this is what they do and all of that. And it aligns with our mission, because I believe in social impact. I believe in making a difference wherever you are. It's not about just talking, it's walking the talk. So if you're a church, you're in a community, and people are crying, dying, and people lack so many things, and you're not making impact on that area, then there's no use. You are just occupying space. You're not making a difference. So when Regalo came in 2021 precisely, and they shared their vision with us, and we were able to embrace what they are doing, and and we supported it, and then they came as an outreach in our community. They did health and then BP check. I did mine as well. The impact was long lasting. And we're so glad they came. And we're happy that people around, from the testimony we hear from people, they were really blessed. So I believe so much in making impact, like I said, being the light in the midst of darkness.
We have the Teachers Leadership Academy, where we teach our teachers. It is an online platform. Where the teachers, they go through leadership courses, emotional intelligence, and all that. And sometimes the teachers and even we staff, the organization pay for seminars for us to go and learn leadership courses, to get certifications and all that. So Regalo Foundation has imparted over 20 states in the country and beyond.
Amazing.
So I would just ask, talking about leadership and social impact.
Yes.
Where does prayer comes in? Because as a religious leader, there is an extent in which you can pray, but it won't get the work to be done. But sometimes maybe somebody might be touched. But when it comes to this country, in terms of leadership and social impact, is prayer enough?
Well, prayer is not enough. Even in the Christian circle, we celebrate prayer more because of our understanding of what prayer is. When you hear prayer, people are talking of let's begin to ask God for something. But prayer is a communication. Pray like I'm communicating with you right now. That's what prayer is. But is like a dialogue with God. You understand? So I believe that when you pray, you are to receive instruction on what to do. So if you pray and you don't receive, you have not prayed. Prayer is talking with God. So you are listening, you are talking, and you are listening. So what I do is that, for instance, if I'm coming here, for instance, I came here tomorrow, I prayed about it. Do you understand? And then you hear what must you say when you get there. That's prayer. Where
I'm going to is that, like, now we need to do this road. We need to, get things done.
And prayer cannot do all those things.
Yes, it's prayer with work.
Yes, prayer with work, definitely. But it involves strategy meeting, it involves collaboration, it involves partnership, and all those things is work. But prayer helps you to go about it. Tells you who to meet, what to say, where to go, how to go about it, step to take, and all of that. That's what prayer does. But it's not everything.
I would love to ask, why is it that when somebody might be good character and everything, and we say, it's like this person is fit for this position. That is what is happening in our country. Different positions from the local government and up. This person is good. Let's vote for the person. Let's do this and that. But once the person just attain that office, everything just changes. Why is it that? Is it that those leadership traits were not there before, or is it that greed took over?
So like I said initially, well, there is nothing wrong with the position. There is nothing wrong with the seat. There is nothing wrong with the space, right? But one of the things that happen is that when you are given a position, or you are given a seat, or you are given a title, it's a revealer. See, once you get anywhere and you start misbehaving, it's not the seat that is the problem. It's already in you before the seat.
And it's not the system?
It's not the system. I know that the system in our country, it's not a system where that aligns with some of the things that we do, especially if we have a good character. But I believe that anything we are going through reveals what we carry inside. It's just like when you put your lifting bag in a hot water, right? it reveals what the lifting bag has within it. You understand? So the challenges we go through in Nigeria, the problems we are going through in Nigeria reveals what we are.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so if you say that you get to a particular place and you become greedy and you start embezzling, you have been embezzling money, you have been greedy before. It was like a seed. So that position was like exposes what you carry within you.
Okay.
So I believe that if you have developed yourself, you have sound character, it should also show when you have a leadership position, if you understand what it is.
Okay.
So if you don't know the purpose of a position, you use that position to threaten people. Do you understand?
Okay.
So I believe that wherever we are, right, it reveals who we are.
So why is good leadership attacked?
Good leadership will be attacked because there is always the presence of evil everywhere. It will be attacked because what you are coming to do is to expose what they are doing.
Yeah.
So you will not be liked by people. So you'll be criticized.
Okay.
But because you understand where you are coming from, you become consistent. At the end of the day, evil will bow for good. So that's where we are going to in this country. So
what can be done? What is the solution to this?
Okay,
like every time everybody complain of bad leadership.
Yes.
What is the solution?
Okay, so my take on this is the solution begins with us.
Okay.
Right?
The solution begins with us.
The leadership does not start with a position. It starts with the person.
Okay.
For instance, we that are here, we start with our immediate space, our immediate environment. Okay. How do you address issues?
Yeah.
How do you add value? How do you solve problems? I tell people that leadership is not about acquiring a title. Leadership is basically solving a problem.
Yeah.
Or if you are not solving a problem, then you become the problem that people will solve. So I believe that from your immediate, for instance, we are working here.
Yeah.
How do you solve problem here? Do you understand? How do you add value?
Yes.
What difference do you bring? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that is where it begins from. We can't do anything. We are talking about the government or the governor or listen, the next governor, the next president is coming from our midst.
Yeah.
He's not going to be an angel.
Yes.
So we must start from where we are. We must start exhibiting leadership traits from our space, right? Little by little, there's a rippling effect, and then everybody start becoming conscious of being a solution. And before you know it, somebody from our midst may attain that post. If not, we'll still keep making a difference till we spread all over the country, and Nigeria can be the most desirable nation to live in.
I pray so. I pray so.
No, really, it's going to happen now.
Because sometimes if you say that Nigeria will be a great nation, we say, sometimes, do you know that even in churches, when they say, let's pray for Nigeria, some people don't pray again?
Yes, because a lot of people have lost hope for this nation. And to be honest with you, I won't blame them because the example of leadership that we see is not encouraging.
It's not encouraging.
But guess what? It cannot be an excuse.
Okay.
I tell people, especially when I'm talking to some of my people, I say we are talking about forefathers, our generational curses, and all everybody have those things in our family, right? There are some of our forefathers, great grandfathers that probably committed sin. You don't know them. You just happen to come within their lineage, right? And then you are complaining that maybe it's my forefathers that did something or that. I tell you, forget about your forefathers. Do you know that you're already becoming a forefather too? Because generations are coming after you.
Yes.
We dare say because of my forefather, which is you. That's why we are suffering. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so why don't you change the story?
Now.
Change the narrative. Do you understand? Be the best.
Yes.
Stop that curse. Let it stop with you. Let blessings start. So I tell people, forget about our nation. Forget about, the government. Start from you, from within your environment. Are you a leader that is worthy of emulation? Are you an exemplary leader? Can you inspire people? Are people blessed just being around you? That's where it begins from. Live.
Are you an exemplary leader?
Yes.
So, sir, I would love you to give the audience one word of advice as regards leadership.
Okay. Most of the time when I talk about leadership, I usually mention 4-5 things.
Okay.
When you think about leadership, number one, solution. So I tell people, as much as possible, be the solution that others are looking for.
Yeah.
You are either providing solution or creating problem. Right? Provide solution, solve problems. Number 2, value.
Value.
You must give value wherever you are.
Yeah.
And you cannot give what you don't have. So you must train yourself to become a man or a woman of value so that you can offer value.
Yeah.
People don't pay for gifts, they pay for value.
They pay for value.
Right. Number 3 is intervention. Anywhere you are, you must ensure that you become an intervention, not an interruption to people's lives. Just be an intervention. Try as much as possible to create innovation and solution and invention that will make life better around you.
Okay.
And the last one is answer.
Answer.
You must answer questions. You must not be a question mark in your environment.
Wow.
You must be an exclamation mark by answering people's questions. So, for instance, when you come to the office now, the question is, this place is dirty. What do? You make sure that you clean it up. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
It's not complaining. You understand what I'm saying now? So if you can imbibe those 4 things, our audience, right? I believe that Nigeria will change from you,
Yes,
not from
from
the
you.
top,
Yeah.
from you as a person, because it starts with you.
I learned that you should not be a question mark. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank
This
you
is
very
a
much.
wonderful section. I learned a lot, and I'm sure that our viewers, they learned so much from our
Awesome.
discussions here. Leadership is all about purpose and impact. So we've come to the end of this section. I am Nkechi Jane Obodoke, and with me is
Ayo Fadumiye,
the leadership
the
doctor.
leadership doctor.
And we will be signing out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.